Hey. Well, here we are, Magic Mike Moments again. And today I'm very, very blessed to be talking with Misty Henkel. Hi, Misty.
Hi.
So Misty's based in Canberra at the moment, but possibly relocating to Queensland. We'll talk about that later. So here's just a little bit of an intro about Misty. So Misty Henkel is an international sales trainer, which means that she runs online sales classes for people all over the world. So she teaches selling in 4 different ways: through online group sales classes, personal coaching sessions, in book format, and through self-paced video programs. So her prices are between $20.22 and $75, and her goal is to make sales training and sales improvement easy and affordable for everyone all over the world. And it's not just empty words there. We'll talk about that later, but she really means it. Most of her clients are solopreneurs, with a large portion being network marketers. If Misty could be described in just one word, while excited and infectious come to mind, advocate would be it, as there isn't a person that she meets that she is not trying to promote and build up their profile to themselves in the marketplace. And I can attest to that 110%. So welcome, Misty. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Sally. I'm super excited to be here.
So I would just love you to talk a little bit about your journey of how you've turned up to now become a sales trainer, and then maybe some of the challenges that you've had along the way.
Okay, so I'm a salesman by trade. When I was 18, I became a barmaid. So I was a barmaid for 10 years. I love the idea of you get paid, you turn up to work and you get paid, but there is that opportunity to earn extra money. You see it on TV all the time, over in America, they get tips and earn extra money. It doesn't really happen so much here in Australia. And I have to admit that the few times over that 10-year time frame when I did get a tip, whether it be $1 or $2 or whatever it was, I actually was more embarrassed to collect it than to not have it, because we're just not used to getting them. But I do know that when I went overseas and I went to places like Canada or America and went into restaurants, I was happy to pay the tips because that's part of it.
Yeah.
I have to say, I would have done a better job. I would have earned way more money. Like, earning money is so easy to get off people if it's a percentage of the price of what it is you sell. So really, the idea is if you sell more food, more drink, more desserts, more garlic bread to the people who are in there, you will by default end up with more money because it's a percentage of the thing. If you talk to somebody, particularly if they've got an accent, they're from far away, and go, oh, where are you from? Oh, wow, you're from there. Okay, so you're new in town. Have you gone and seen and put them towards something? Really easy for you to just the tips to go up because you've become helpful and you've added to their experience. It's not selling the thing that they come in asking for. That is not worth any extra money. It's about giving them something that they didn't ask for, and they will choose to pay, whether you know about it, like whatever. They'll just choose to pay more and then justify it all day long as to how that works for them. I know over in Bali, I believe that if you tip first, they will do everything to keep giving you.
That's a good idea.
First. So if you give them $20 to, keep the drinks coming, they're not stopping at all, right? And they're going to look after you, even though you don't tip them again at the end. Like, you've done it now, but they're still going to look after you because they want to live up to the money that you gave them as well. So it's an interesting concept. So from there, I went from being a barmaid for 10 years, that I went into furniture sales, which I thought was vastly different, but it turns out it's the same. If you go, hi, how you going? What were you in for? Is the same as, hi, how you going? What do you want to drink? It all works the same. It just seems so hugely different, but ultimately there were some key things that would work out very similar. Computers, I knew nothing about computers, but again, hi, how you going? You're in looking for a computer? They knew what they were after. All I had to do was help them out and be friendly. So there was just little things that I noticed from all the different jobs that I did. Then, of course, I like to chat. I didn't used to. In my head, I was always a talker, but growing up,
so you weren't much of a chatter.
Yeah, but growing up, I struggled to have friends, and I didn't talk all that much at school. And so that's why I became one reason why I became a barmaid was it was to teach me to say hello to people. It was to teach me to talk. My dad said, and I worked at a bowling club first, so it's, hundreds of old guys just coming in to get a mini of Carlton, in the middle of their round, right? So same drink for everybody. That's it. You've got one job. Just say, hi, how you going? What do you want to drink? That's it, right? And I'm trying to say this without laughing, because the truth is to go, hi, how you going? What would you like to drink? Mini Carlton. Hi, how you going? What would you like to drink? Mini Carlton. Hi, how you going? What would you like to drink? Missy, there's only one drink here. Hi, how are you going? What would you like to drink?
Yeah.
Once I handle of saying that while pouring a beer, then, and getting them change, then I would move on to, how's your game going? Because I could just pour the beer with comfortable knowing what they're having.
Yeah.
How's your game going? How's your game going? How's your game going? Is the sun hot out there? You know, like, and then I learnt to talk to people that way, and it become quite a key thing. So I like the idea of, so when you think of hospitality, it's about add-on sales. How to support the person who walked in the room.
Yeah.
Right? When it comes to selling furniture, it's about add-on sales. Someone come in for a bed, but if you can sell them some bedding to go with it and a mattress and, you know, a lamp or a rug. So it's all about the add-on sales. Sell them as much as you possibly can now that they've walked in the door, right? Because the advertising let them in. So I was all about add-on sales. I wanted to go to sales training. It wasn't available to me. So we're looking at sort of from mid-90s on.
Right. Okay.
Available, right? So that not being available, the only way that I could learn how to sell was to buy books and self-taught. So I would buy books, I would read them, I would just suck out all the knowledge, read them and then test it. Test it. When I got game enough and I'm working with other people, say, hey, could you try this, tell me if this works, right? So I got a bit of a reputation for being able to pick up people who were maybe not so flash at the talking to others. They were quite grumpy when they come to work, not so happy about, not really being the salesman that they asked to be, you know, to get paid for. When they came in, I had a little way of just sort of picking them up and giving them something to do. So I remember working for Fantastic Furniture here in Canberra and then being sent out to the Bathurst store for a week. It was brand new. It'd been open for a few months. They had their big opening sale. And I thought it was to take over while somebody else was away, right? And then to just say, not take over, but I mean to fill in. I need another staff member else to sell. When I got there, I found out it was nothing to do with that. And there was a girl there, young girl. They all really liked her. She used to be in jewelry sales. She's only about 18, 19, right? So she grew up doing jewelry sales and they'd hired her to work there. And they had their opening weekend where everybody sold thousands and thousands of dollars and she had sold none. So the idea was, Misty, fix her or move her out. And I'm going, oh, all right then. So I fixed her. So my idea was I will fix her. And it was tiny little things, right? She was not confident. So I said to her, here's what I want you to do. Before you answer the phone, before you talk to a person in the store, I don't care if it's a customer, I don't care if it's me, I don't care if it's the boss. This is what I want you to say before you speak to anyone. I'm in charge, I'm in charge, I'm in charge. I said, now I need you to say it in your head because if you say that out loud, you're going to sound nuts, right? If you speak, just be very silent, say, I'm in charge, I'm in charge, I'm in charge, and then talk to the person, right? Before you answer the phone, I'm in charge, I'm in charge, I'm in charge, then pick up the phone, hi, how you going? And go from there, right? By the end of that week, she stole a $5,000 sale off me.
Wow.
Premise of, well, you're not going to be here to collect the commission anyway, so I should have it. Okay. And then by the end of that year, less than 6 months later, I was at the big Fantastic Furniture New South Wales Christmas party, and there she was, head sales for that store. So what they thought was they were expecting her to be moved out entirely. And just like that, I could teach her, because she just needed just this one little idea. She didn't know how to sell. She only needed one idea to change her confidence. That was it, right? Work on one thing. So that's kind of, and then from there, all these different things with sales that I've done, I discovered networking 9 years ago. So business networking is kind of like a wedding reception. You know, when you go to a wedding at night, right? Go to a wedding, you go get a drink, and if you're the only one there and you turn around and you go, who do I speak to? There's some people talking over there. If you go up to a group, and you stand there, they're like, oh, who is this person? Should we just keep talking and just, you know, we'll just keep talking, drinking. A business networking event, you rock up and you go, okay, I don't know anyone. You go up to a group of people standing around chatting. They stop talking. They open up their circle. They let you in. They say, hi, how are you going? What do you do? And there never will you be in a room where there is so many people who are nothing but interested in what it is that you do and what you sell. And from the moment I went to my very first networking event, little story on how I got there, don't worry about it. But when I went there, I've gone, oh my God, here is the secret to sales that I have never heard of before. This is a secret that nobody's written about in a book. I've never heard of it before. I've been in hospitality and retail. This is non-existent. But oh my God, there's a secret to this. So that particular year I went to as many networking events as I could and worked out how to pull it apart. What is it about turning up and talking about what it is that you sell that captures the customers. And from there's these fundamental laws that I have discovered about sales that happens for everything. It doesn't matter what you sell. It only matters how you behave in certain spaces. So if somebody says, how much does it cost? Your answer is the price, not, oh, well, you see, and then the price. It's just the price. So how much is sales training? $75. How much is Sally's book? $24.95. How much is shipping? Free in Australia.
Yeah.
If it was, well, how much is it for shipping? Oh, well, you see, in Australia, it's free, but if you're overseas, you're going to have to pay for it. Yeah. It's not the price that becomes the problem. It's actually the delivery of the 100%, price.
100%.
Right? So these little fundamentals I discovered along the way, and that's what I end up on teaching to those who are frightened to sell, don't like it, say, I'm not a salesman, I can never do this, who are anxious about it, to those who go, I just want to get better. And then also the other side, I have people who are salesmen and have done this for a long time. But then when I do my group classes, they come in. I've heard about you. Apparently I learned something. I don't really know what it is. What they discover is, well, it's all about promotion. If more people know who you are and you're coming in saying, I sell this, it's all about promotion. The more people that know what you do, the more opportunity you have to sell. So promotion and advertising. And along the way, a couple of little tips will come out. So I've got one, his name's Glenn Kirkwood. He's a salesman. He's been, for those who know BNI, he's been around BNI for years and years. He was director up in Sydney.
He's through BNI, is he?
Yeah. So big chapters in Sydney, about 15 or 20, 50 plus chapters, And he is a salesman. He knows it. But when we've been chatting, and I'll say something like, okay, so it was because of the delivery of the price, or because you were silent after you delivered the price. It's like, oh my God, is that how that worked 20 years ago? Hang on, let me track. Oh my God, it was the silence after I said the price. That was it. Yeah. If I hadn't known that before, I could have been silent every time someone asked me a price. Oh my God. But and he can even track back and go, when I explain, they don't buy. Yeah, don't explain. Don't explain. Don't ask questions. Let them ask you. Answer simply. Be silent. So it's just tiny little tips, and then practice. Yeah. Have a nice group of people that you can practice with to get comfortable with it. Used to doing it more than anything else. So how to practice becomes very important as well in sales.
Oh, look, just a little bit of background is that I met you, probably a couple of years ago now through networking, and then have joined your sales classes, which are mind-blowing, plus your 2021 or 2022 movement for the one-on-one, which is awesome. But you're absolutely spot on. It's behavior is everything. So being confident, right? It doesn't matter if you don't know what you're really talking about, just come across as confident. But one of the biggest things I've taken away from you is keeping it simple, really honing it down to keeping it simple, and the power of the silence, right? Just that you just say the price and then shut up. Like, it's so hard, because if you're not confident in yourself and the way you deliver it, I have learned so much through basic, simple tips. And, it doesn't matter what level of business you're in, that it's just peeling it back to the basics. And you can see your experience has, given you all this knowledge and wisdom that just keep it simple. Let's simply, really just shut it.
Simple, sales is so simple now. Like it's simplified, and I've seen it over the years, right? So we're looking at middle of the 90s. So looking at over a 25-year time frame, right? How I've watched it change. So going back with Fantastic Furniture 15 years ago. So I worked there for a number of years. Then I had 7 years off in the middle, and then I went back. So going back about 5-6 years ago, I went back just to work on weekends. When I worked there earlier, 15 years ago when I was working there, as a salesman, this is pre-buying everything on the internet. So the internet selling was just starting to come out. So that was all fun and exciting, right? And everyone's like, oh my God, we're never going to sell anything, because they could just click and collect it on the internet, right? But as a salesman, because we weren't quite used to Google then either. So as a salesman, someone would come in and I would sell mattresses like piece of cake, right? They'd come in, they'd say, okay, so I can't sleep very well. I need a new mattress. Great. What's wrong with your current mattress? And you get to talk to them and ask them questions. So traditional sales always teaches you, ask really good questions so you can qualify the client and then give them the right solution. Today, it's not the same. So going back about 7 years ago, I went in. So there was a big 7-year gap in the middle between when I was selling furniture and then going back into selling furniture. And I went in for 1.5 years because I like to run these experiments to go for a substantial period of time, because I'm not looking for a little bit of data. I'm looking for consistent long-time data, right? So I went back and worked weekends for 1.5 years to see how has sales changed from then to now. How do people talk now, right? And people would go, they'd come in and I'd go to the mattress department, because I thought, that's easy. Go back to the main department where you could just sell it, right?
You can lie down.
And they'd come back and they'd say, okay, so I was looking at this mattress online. I was wondering, do you have this particular mattress, right? And it'd be the $99 single mattress. I'm going, yeah, we got that. No problems. They said, yeah, I'll have one of those. I said, do you want to see it? No, I don't want to see it. Okay. Can I just ask, who's it going to be for? And they've gone, why do you ask? And I said, I just want to make sure that you're getting the right mattress for the right appropriate person. And they go, it's for my 15-year-old son. Okay. So information that you might need to know. Well, I probably said information you need to know about this. Apparently they don't need to know anything, because Google has told them, according to what they've put into the search.
Yeah, right.
That's really put me on the back foot already. They hate me already. Information you need to know is that is not a mattress for a 15-year-old growing boy. He's already quite large and he's just going to get bigger and bigger. That is the mattress for a toddler. It is their first mattress. It's got very lightweight springs. It's got very minimal padding that goes on top of it. And when a toddler rests at night, they're going to wet through a number of times. Eventually, it's going to get thrown out. You're going to get them a bigger, stronger, better mattress when they sleep without wetting the bed, right? So you can imagine a 15-year-old boy that's going to buckle the mattress.
Yeah, yeah.
They've gone, find me who'll sell me that mattress. Oh, I can sell it to you. I'm just telling you it's wrong. Nobody wants to be told that they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did this so consistently on the days where I've gone, yeah, I'm not going to get into an argument with them. Yeah, that's the mattress you want, no problems. They loved me. They handed over the cash. On the days where I wanted to just check in with them. Yeah. So follow traditional sales concepts of ask good questions, qualify the client. Yeah, not interested, hate my guts and would rather be served by someone else. It had me think, why did you come in here? I mean, you've clearly been Googling it, and then you checked it out last night. You knew it was in store because you were online and you knew that it was there. All you had to do was click, pay for it online and collect it. So why were they coming into the store and not going straight to the warehouse to pick it up? And here's the answer, Sal. You're going to love this. The personal contact with people. People are so tired of doing everything online with no personal contact.
Yeah.
But it turns out money goes to, here's a fundamental rule. Anyone can pay attention to this, write it down for anyone who's listening, right? Here's a fundamental rule. The money goes towards the nicest person in the room. I don't care who you are and what you sell.
Yeah.
It's not the dumbest thing, but you're the nicest person, and it's something that nobody wants, but you're the nicest person. And you're against somebody who's an absolute asshole, but sells exactly what you're after. You will justify all day long why you bought from the other person and not the thing that you wanted and needed.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to hand their hard-earned money over to a dickhead. It's that simple. Sorry, I'm not allowed to say that. But I mean, nobody wants to, right? And ultimately, when I was trying to just be the normal, nice person that I am, asking some questions to just check in, I seem like the asshole. And yet that wasn't what I was trying to do. But turns out Google today has changed the rules for sales for everybody. Because we have Google, which is our third-party tool, all you have to do is say very simply, with very few words, what you sell. And in their head, they either already know it or they're going to Google those words and they're going to check it out for themselves. They're not going to listen to the salesman. And as you know, this is the fundamental rules of selling now. Sales becomes so easy. Just what it is, say the price, leave them, and then silence, leave the rest up to the customer. Customer sorts out the rest. They'll ask you questions if they need it. Turns out today, the only people who have good questions is the customer. You, the salesman, you've got nothing, right? Because you don't know where the customer's gap is. The customer only has gaps based off what you've said and what Google hasn't told them. So there are no good questions anymore from the salesman. Leave it up to the customer. They'll ask you questions. You answer simply, be quiet, and the sale can go through. You talk too much? And I go, yeah, okay. And then you wonder why. Salesmen wonder why. Did they buy it from the other? But I spoke to them for an hour and a half. Why didn't they buy it from me? Because you gave out too much information. You confused the customer. They forgot what they were doing. They walked away going, I don't need any more information. They realized they didn't get what they needed. They became so embarrassed to go back that they ended up buying it from someone else, not because they wanted to. They were just too embarrassed to go back.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's a system. Once you start to see it, though, it's highlights quite clearly.
And that's what blows me away about your sales classes, because clearly every week there's a theme, and it's very simple, just a very simple thing. But this is based on years and years of you in the sales force, and with the changing times of the ways of sales. But you're right, it's information overload. People just want a simple answer. It's like, when you ask someone, you just want a yes or a no. You don't want but blah, 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 blah. And that's the great power in the way that you're running these sales things, is it's just keeping it simple, not confusing people, being confident in your delivery and confident in yourself and confident in your product. And that's as you value all of that, your value goes up in your back pocket as well. But it's this whole thing about keep it simple, because silence is golden, right? And
that's what we're doing in sales class this morning. We're practicing presentations. I give you a structure. You have to run it cold, and then people will ask questions of that, and questions that come out. What was one? A question came out that said, it was a girl who was telling us something about herbal pill that she sells for people who have aches and pains, right? And then someone said, can you have that if you're on medication?
Yeah.
She said, well, yes. And then she was thinking of, okay, what's the answer to make it all big? And I said, that's the answer.
Yeah, just yes.
Becomes the answer. Now stop talking. Because it doesn't matter what you say after that. Or I said, well, you can say yes, because I'm on medication and it's worked beautifully for me, right? So, and if there's plenty of studies, because other people have been on medication, it's worked beautifully for them. That person who's on medication and asks the question, they're only going to believe you to a point, grab the information and go to their doctor anyway. 100%. So you don't expect anyone anywhere. You just answer the question simply and they'll do it. If you turn around and say, does it work for people on medication? And you said, no, they're going to go, yeah, I might just check that out. Like they're going to look it up anyway.
But just this simplicity, and really the more confident you are in delivering, well, first of all, confident in your product, and you don't have to try and justify your price, but it's just a price. And remember Sylvia the other day, who works in the market stalls, she said it's helped with their sales, because she said, they say, well, why is it that price? And she goes, it's just a price. That's what it is. It's just like $99 or whatever it is. And it's just like, that's it. Take it or leave it. But see, you're not undervaluing your service, your product, whatever it is. Like, So moving on, because I just really love and adore you. So, what do you think is your overall superpower? Why is it that so many people are drawn to you? Because you're charismatic and all that sort of stuff. But what is it? What is your true essence?
Get away. Look, if you come out, if I discover you and you sell something, I do what I can to make sure that everybody else knows who you are, and I don't let you get away. And I am super excited. I am honestly more excited by people's things that they sell than they are. And I just show that my excitement shows them that what they sell is exciting. So here's what people hear at home. Let's say you're an accountant, right? And you're excited by numbers and you're excited by the accounting. Oh my God, I'm an accountant, I do this. Oh my God, I had this client, it was amazing. Here's what happens. Your home people, who are supposed to be your biggest advocates, go, yeah, I get it. You love accounting. All right. We have to hear about it every minute. As a result, we learn how to not speak about it anymore. Whereas I teach you, just because they're down on you because you're enjoying your life and your job and they're clearly not enjoying theirs, doesn't mean that you don't get to speak about that anymore, because the only way to get clients is to speak about it. Here's something that I learned from sales in general. Like when I learned first as a barmaid and then in furniture and computers, right? It was all about selling the most add-on, most amount of people that come in the store. What I've learned later on since then, actually, the trick is getting them to walk in the store. You don't have to add on sell to anybody. If they know to walk in, they've sold themselves, and you don't have to sell anything. So when people turn around and go, oh my God, I don't like this sales, I don't like making someone buy. Yeah, because you're talking to someone who just stepped in based off what, who knows what, right? And now you're trying to make them do something, right, when they've walked in, but you don't know what they're there for. Whereas if you can make them walk in, oh, this is what I do, I'm so excited, this is a customer that I helped. Like it's how you say it. At home, I talk sales all day long, right? So I'm here, I run class, I run my classes here, I do online stuff. writing a book, do an online program, things like that. At the end of the day, I go out and I say, oh, guess what happened? Guess what happened in class today? Here's my family. So I've got my husband, right? And then I've got my two boys. So we're looking at like an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old. And they look at me and they go, do we have to have this sales talk thing again? Yeah. So I need to get my words out, and I have to practice every day. So I'm going to get them out right now. And then when I finish, we can talk about something else.
Yeah.
All right, then you get all your words out, right? So I just tell them, here's the expectation. So instead of them going, oh, I get it, you really love sales, I've gone, yeah. And you'll stand there and listen to me talk about it with excitement and enthusiasm, and then we'll do something else.
Yeah.
You know what's really interesting? Based off all of this, there's nothing that they can't sell in the house. So Simon, right, 12 months ago, he decided he was decluttering the house. He was going to sell off everything or get rid of anything that he didn't want, that he considered that we didn't need, right? All sorts of stuff that I felt was necessary. Anyhow, it all went. And he'd come in every day going, oh, guess what I sold today? Wow, that was amazing. How much did you sell that for? He goes, full price. He said, they wanted a discount. And I said, no. And they said, but what about it? He goes, no, it's the price. But again, no, I marked it at the price that I want. If you don't want it at that price, that's okay. And then they bought it. And I've gone, isn't that interesting? You sold without discounting. You insisted the price was the price. That's my basic coin term. The price is the price. Yeah. You didn't discount, and you were silent after you said, that's the price.
Yeah.
If someone rings up about a car, Simon said, it's amazing how you can sell a car. He said, when someone calls up to say, I was just wondering about that car that you've got for sale, I tell them straight up, this is what it is. These are the quirks with it. This is how much it is. This is how much I want. Yeah. And these are the quirks. So when you come and have a look, expect this. Simon said, I want to buy the car off you. It's our car. He said, now I want to buy it off you. I can guarantee you when someone turns up, they are not asking for a discount because they're told that's the price. Here's any problems you might come across, and this is what you get. Yeah. They already know. So all they do is just check it over. They don't know what else to ask. And then they do it. So I do it with everything. If you tell them everything.
It's fantastic. And part of what you're saying before about the consistency. So you just keep saying that and look what's happened. It's rubbed off, right?
Over and over. I have to say, people have come to sales class with the idea of selling their thing, right?
Yeah.
Only at the end of maybe a year, this is going back 2 years ago. So at the end of the year, so not last Christmas, Christmas before, they've gone, okay, so I haven't done anything in my business. Like I've got the ideas that I know what to do. I haven't done anything in my business, but I'm moving house and I had a garage sale and I sold everything at full price. And I've gone, I don't care what business you're in, garage sales, whatever, as long as it all works. So it's a life skill. We're going to need it all the time for different things. All the
time. And, you're working with, as you said, mainly solopreneurs. And so it's boosting that confidence about people where they're happy to say that's just the price. There's no discount, and then do all that sort of stuff. So overall, what do you think in sales, what do you think is the biggest issue facing people? Is it talking too much, or what is it?
Oh, yeah. Talking too much is definitely a big thing.
Yeah.
Explaining themselves is definitely a big thing. If someone says, how much is it? Okay, let's say I said sales classes. Sales classes, group sales classes for 12 months is $75. Yeah. See, the reason it's $75 is because, and then on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
But that's not the question that was asked of me. The question that was asked is, how much is it? $75.
Yeah. And that's it. And that's fine.
Talking, and it's the inability to deliver the price as a fact.
Yeah. Right? What's your thoughts about delivering, being upfront about the price? Because there's so many theories about, like on websites, you don't put prices up, and then,
That's rubbish. It's rubbish. There's only one thing that we want to know. How much does it cost so I can work out, one, if I've got the money, two, where I'm going to get it from, if it's even something that I want. The truth is, at the very beginning of time when people are looking at something, they will research. They say, don't put your price up, because they're researching. They're looking for the cheapest price. Okay. Who isn't?
Yeah.
Looking for the cheapest price. I mean, is there a person on the planet that's not doing their due diligence to work out price to product?
Yeah.
They're all doing it. So
Yes.
why stop your customer from doing it? And how might be so rude as to think that they shouldn't do it with you, right? But price to product doesn't mean, it's not what you think it is. Like, we hear a price and we hear a product. We've got a guy, Jonathan Laylos, right? So he helps students on the autism spectrum transition from school leaver to workforce. in class, ask him a simple question. How much does it cost? He goes, oh, well, I've got NDIS funding. Okay, that's not my question. How much does it cost, right? When we pinned him down, I said, just deliver it. Pretend it's just a fact, like the weather outside.
Yeah.
It's now currently not raining. So what is it? He ends up going $22,000 a year. We all sat there going, oh my God.
It's exactly the same, right? But then I let it sink in, right?
So part of us is going, piss off, really? $22,000. And then another part's going, that's not what I thought you were teaching then. Because clearly at 20, and he says, 22,000 a year. Really? This goes on for more than 1 year? Yeah. But when I sat back and thought about it, I thought, how do you sell that? I spent the next day working out, how do you sell that? Like, how do you sell that? The truth is, it's no different to doing a uni degree on anything. If you want to be a doctor, it costs you about $22,000 a year.
I know, I've got twins starting at uni.
Right? So it's costing you that much anyway. I've gone, oh, shit, he's actually giving out a uni degree on getting a job. And actually, if you're flat out getting a job, that's probably a good idea because you're going to do a degree in something anyway. So getting a job is probably a good idea. You know, if you're on the spectrum and you have difficulty with certain things, well, then actually being able to function out and be able to do that. 100% good at their job. It's just working around everyone else and everyone else's thoughts, beliefs, and abilities. Like you have to work around theirs as well. And if you're really particular at what you do and the people you work with aren't, well, I mean, that's going to just piss you off no end. So therefore, you know, you need to learn how to work your way around that. So but it also showed, it gave us a different idea of what his product was based off us. Then, of course, we're sitting there going, oh, my God, who has that money? Okay, well, let's have a think about that. Or I would never pay that. Okay, would I not? I mean, clearly, if I don't have that problem, maybe I would. But actually, who would pay for that? And so it gives you your initial thought response is not what it ends up being, because you have the opportunity, if you know the price and the product, you have that opportunity to start talking yourself around, researching more, understanding more as well. And then your mindset changes.
100%. Your perspective shifts, because I thought about it. And then, like most people, went, oh, wow, that's expensive. Only because in our groups, it's sort of like, as you said, Solarpreneur. So it's sort of lower ticket items. But then I thought, it's
$20.22.
Yeah, it's a great book.
It costs for $22,000. I can sell that book for the same amount. I'm just not going to. So, but it doesn't make it more or less.
No, it's just, and to be able to have the opportunity, if you are on the spectrum or whatever, and not suiting into a lot of job roles or whatever, to have something that you are tailored into is priceless, because you're setting yourself up for your future. I was like, it's absolutely your perspective around it, for sure.
It also gives you a perspective of how many customers they're after. So it's $20.22, or it's $75 per person for group classes, right?
Yeah.
I've got 110. All these tickets here are someone, so I've got 110 in class. I work on getting 500 people every year, but ultimately I want 1 million, right? My youngest, he's 9 years old. He goes, I think you charge enough, $75. You should charge more than that. I want 1 million in class. I mean, if I was a YouTuber, how many subscribers do I want? He goes, 1 million. Great. I want 1 million in class. He goes, that's $75 million. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
He goes, actually, that's a lot of money. I said, it's all built on numbers, right?
Yeah.
The question then becomes, can I handle 1 million? I reckon I could, right? It's all mine. So, as long as you've got a platform that allows for it, I can do 1 million online, right? It's our classes. Jonathan, on the other hand, $22,000 a pop. I mean, how many customers is 7 per year? He's not looking for 1 million.
Yeah.
He may not be looking for 10. He might be looking for 5.
Yeah.
So it gives you an idea of, based off how big it is and how many clients you're looking to help, like how many you're working with. I've got a girlfriend who went to primary school. We got the same birthday. She's a business coach. And she says, it blows my mind. It kills me that you charge $20.22 for personal coaching. She said, I charge $1,500 a session. I charge $20,000 a year. And I said, yes, but you want 10 clients. I want 10,000.
Yeah.
And it's taken a bit for me to learn. I had another friend in the middle, right, who she says, there's a difference, Misty. She wants to help this many people. You want to help the entire planet. And, of course, that comes at a different price, because you can't help the planet at thousands of dollars per person, because they all don't have it. Whereas at $20, you can probably help everybody.
But also another strength is that you've got such a beautiful community of diverse people, because it's a lower ticket item. You're getting more people in, you're giving lots of options with the times, but the people I've met are incredible, right? And it's just, that's part of it, and it's global. So it's a win-win, because we've got a beautiful community of people that's just keep growing and growing.
You know who I get, right? So I don't disagree with the high ticket prices. I don't disagree with the $1,500 per person.
It's your choice.
I disagree with any of that, right? Oh, I love it. I love that idea, right? Earn as much as you possibly can, because clearly you've got skills that sit behind it, right? And there's nothing that doesn't help people. But you know who I get by pricing myself different, like at the way lower end, right? Is I get everybody in the middle that nobody else will market to.
Yeah.
And it's all just a maths problem anyway. Like I say to my kids, right? Let's say I've got 1,000 people, right? And 10% at this end, so 100 of them don't have any money. So it's not that we're not marketing to them. So I'm not going to not market to them. I said, but usually the ones down that end, they're in that space of doing it themselves. We always start that way, as I want to do it for free. I want to do it myself. I want to do it my own way, right? So the first 100 down this end is you're not really marketing to them because they're doing it all themselves. Then you've got the 100 up the other end, the 10% up the other end, right, who have an extra amount of cash, right? Everybody wants to market to those who have the extra amount of cash. Don't worry, they'll find the money. I can keep the price secret because they'll find the money anyway. Okay, that is the rudest thing I've ever heard, but anyhow, whatevs. Right, so those ones who have some extra cash, right, have that. So it's 100 up there. So one of our boys, he turns around and he says, Mum, I know you're doing this. This was last year. I know you're doing a 2021 experiment where you're charging everyone $20.21, but it's really hard to count. Could you just charge $25 for all your 2021s? Just charge $25. 4 people equals $100. It's just easy to count. Can you do that? And I said, no, I'm not going to. But I like where you're headed with that. I said, 5 people equals 100. He goes, it's not. It's $101.05, and it's hard to count. Thanks for that. But I said, but here's how it is, right? The first 100, they're still in their own space doing their own thing. The top 100, I said, let's go this way, right? Let's go the top 100. Oh, hell, why 25? Let's just make it $100. If I was to charge them all $100, I would make $10,000. And they're like, oh, wow, that's amazing. I said, but there's 800 that are sitting in the middle that nobody markets to at all, and they need help. So it's unfair that they're not marketed to. I said, if I charge them all $20 each, I'll make $16,000. I will make more money on pure volume than anybody else. And so it really doesn't, it shows, and because I ran this experiment last year, it shows it doesn't matter how much you charge. It only matters how many people will buy it.
Yeah.
And how many people, and you can get away with going, oh, okay, I only need a few people to buy it often. So take coaching, if I have 100 people who are buying one $20 coaching session once a month for a year, make $25,000. I'm not even, without much effort. It's only 100 people make $25,000. Turns out you get a lot for not much, like it sits there. It just comes down to the help that you give and how you do it. And look at your numbers differently. That's all.
Yeah. It is all a numbers game. So overall, I mean, because you've got so much and we've spoken about so much, but what do you think is, we've just gone through your top tips, your 3 top tips. Overall.
Top tips, sales tips. All right. Number 1, get known for that thing that you sell. Say it really simply. So if you're a sales trainer, say sales trainer. Don't call it something fancy.
Yeah.
If you're a cleaner, say cleaner. If you're a mortgage broker, you say mortgage broker. You just make it really easy.
Just keep it simple.
If you're a life coach, just say like, what is the word they're going to Google for you? Call it that, right? Yeah. And then say very simply what that thing is that you sell. So I'm a sales trainer. I sell sales training. That's it. Yeah. If I'm a life coach, I sell life coaching.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what? People aren't stupid. They actually know what that is or think they know what it is and can Google it anyway, right? Yeah. If you're a network marketer, the most important things that you can say is the name of the company, regardless of what anyone's opinion is. Oh, that's that network marketing thing. That's MLM, is it? Yeah, it is. Be excited by that. That is the most important thing you say, the name of the company. And then the second most important thing is pick one thing to sell. So that's a top tip. Pick one thing to sell. So say it simply. Be able to know the price of what it costs and then be quiet.
Yeah.
That's it. So think of milk, right? Milk is the easiest thing to sell, right? So actually, when I say the price without discounting. Like in my classes, no one's allowed to discount, like ever.
Yeah. No.
Here's how it is, right? Think of milk. Here's how it sells itself. It sits on the shelf with its price. So it says, I'm milk and I'm $3.90.
Yeah.
That's it. And from that, everybody makes an informed decision with very little words.
Yeah.
Here's what's really funny, right? Have you ever seen milk sale? Have you ever seen milk on special? Assuming it's not off, but have you ever seen milk on special ever? Because I never have.
Right. Oh,
Never seen it on special.
Yeah.
Ever. It's the price, right? I love chocolate. Sally, do you like chocolate?
I used to, not anymore. Yeah.
All right. But back in the day, right? Think of chocolate, think of chips, think of something that you really like, right?
Yeah,
think of the flavor that you like the most. I'm going to go with chocolate, right?
Yeah.
If I think of the flavor that I love the most right now.
What is it?
Yeah. So, there's a few ones. Yeah, I'm going to go with blocks. So, like, I'm going to use an example, right? So, Daryl Lee, because I got
yeah.
Daryl Lee is just the basic dark chocolate at the moment. That's
my still around. Is Daryl Lee still around? You
can get it at Coles and Woolworths. It only has blocks.
Really?
Yeah. So it sits there next to Cadbury's now, right? So it's either Daryl Lee's on special or Cadbury's is on special, right? So mine would be Daryl Lee. It would be the dark chocolate. That'd be my current favourite. But if whatever, so we'll go with that, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's probably Rocky Road and Cadbury's, right? Let's go Rocky Road and Cadbury's, right? On any given day, the block actually costs $5. Either of them costs $5. Right? But I can get them, depending on which week it is, I can get them for as low as $2.50, right? Half price. So $3.50 or $2.50 is fairly standard. So the 1 week it's that $5 or the next week it's on special. Right? Yeah. Here's what's interesting. It doesn't matter how much you love your favorite chocolate more than anything on the entire planet. If you go into the store and discover that it is full price, you won't buy it.
Yeah.
We refuse to buy the things that we love the most, knowing that at a different time we could get it at a different price. And it's the change of price, the constant change of price, that makes it really difficult for us as a customer to make an informed decision because they keep changing the price on us. So learning to deliver your price without discounting becomes really beneficial for you to sell a product because the customer doesn't think that they're getting, like they just know that's the price, that's what it is. Makes it really easy for the customer to pass on the information.
Yeah.
Somebody else, that's the price, that's what it is. Right? Makes it very easy for referrals to come in. That deletes all anxiousness about sales anxiety comes from delivering that price. So if there is no discounting, right? And I learned this from being a barmaid. There is no discount in beer.
Yeah.
If you have $2 and it costs $3 for a schooner, someone would come into me and they say, I've only got $2. Great, I'll give you half a schooner.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not going to not take your money. I'm just not giving you the full glass, right? If you go out to a restaurant, if there's 10 of you out at a restaurant and you all buy exactly the same meal, steak and veggies, that you'll get charged for 10 steaks and veggies. You will not get charged for 10 steaks and veggies because you all bought the same thing. Hey, we'll give you a 10% discount. There is no discounting because you bought bulk.
Yeah.
It's the price. When I sold Fantastic Furniture, that was the price. We already marked it at the best. And Apple says, sell it at what you like. But if you sell it for less than me, you make no money. And if you sell it for more than me, I'll ship it for free online. So sell it for what you like. We learned very fast the price was the price. But you know what? People buy it anyway. Yeah. In which case, discounting is unimportant. It just makes it hard for them to rebuy.
Yeah.
They can't work out.
I think Miele and I think Apple are two that basically don't discount. It might be once a year or something, but you just know it's the price is the price and it's a quality thing, right? So you know that you're getting something. You're prepared to pay the price for that because it's a good quality item.
There is no change. You can't change it. You can disagree with the price all day long. I buy Apple because I used to work for Apple. So I buy Apple. I believe in Steve Jobs. I hate what the new people have done with the phone. They've taken out the button. That just annoys me no end. And I think they're rubbish. But I still believe in Steve Jobs and his whole philosophy that sits behind it. So as a result, I complain every time I go to buy an Apple product. I don't believe in the price. I think it's rubbish. It's too high. It's everything else. But you know what? It's a complaint because I buy it anyway.
Yeah.
Objection, it's a complaint. An objection is I'm not buying it and then I don't.
Yes.
It's I'm not buying it and then I buy it. It's a complaint.
Yeah, yeah. So moving on, something that we were actually talking about before, about down the track, you know, a few years now, but how would you like to be remembered? Just sort of legacy, you know, how would you like people to talk about you at your funeral?
You should say, Sal. So I love eulogies. I think they're amazing. I literally look for movies that have eulogies in it, then I go back. I'm really weird. I go back and I put it in pause and I stop, play, and I write it all down. Think that was a good one. Oh, they said stuff, right? So then how do you write a eulogy? Anyhow, I found this movie at secondhand DVD shop and it was called Straight A's. And the character that comes in, it's like the missing brother. He comes in right at the beginning, and there was a funeral at the very beginning. And he was saying to the kids who were holding the funeral for their pet frog, they said something about the frog, and he said, "Oh God, that's the best eulogy I've ever heard." They've gone, "What's a eulogy?" He said, basically, it's a sum total of someone's life in 3 lines.
3 lines, right?
3 lines, right? So by the end of the movie, right, this was a very important feature. And I've just gone, well, what's my life in 3 lines? Because I've always said, I base everything on dying, right? And I sort of go, you know, my decisions are, if I was sitting on a cloud tonight, would I be happy with the decision I'm making right now? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, well, let's not make that decision. If the answer is yes, cool, let's go ahead. And and I've always said I want 10,000 people at my funeral. This is why I help so many people. This is why I make sales training easy and affordable for everybody. And I want to help so many people. It's because ultimately I'm very selfish and I want 10,000 people at my funeral. But you don't get 10,000 turn up, Sal, unless you've done something to change their lives, right? So I want them to turn up and they go, "Oh my God, the world is the worst place for the passing of her, but here's how she changed my life."
Yeah.
That is what I'm after, because, you know, quite frankly, I just want to be famous and live on forever. So here's my eulogy, right?
Bring it on, babe. Bring it on.
She walked her own path. She included everyone, and she changed lives because of it.
Oh, man, there's a goosebump moment.
So that's how I do everything. That's all my decisions moving forward. That's how I teach sales. You know what? I am going to do it my own way, even though others say, no, you can't do that. You know what? I'm going to show you a way to do this that is so simple and different to what everyone else says, but these are just fundamental rules that have come up, just keep showing up in sales over and over. So I'm going to show you how to make it simple, which is not what sales training generally does. They give you a concept, you have to try and work it out. I'm going to give you the answer. That's it. She included everyone. There is not a single person that has something that can't be solved. I'll let everybody in. I don't care who you are at all. If you're a big salesman, if you're a small one, if you're anxious, if you're not, if you like, I'll include everyone, and I will change life, because there'll be something you get to go, oh, or things change from when you come out. And it's not because I've taught you so much. It might be because of the group that you're sitting in, where someone else has gone, oh my God, I get it now. Oh, well, I know who you need to, and they'll give someone an idea. Like it'll be something, but it'll change your life.
Well, you changed my life when I met you through networking, because I was going through being in Melbourne, the world's longest lockdown city. It gave me a reason to get up on a Thursday morning, because honestly, we were binging Netflix. It was just like all a blur. The energy was bad, but you just had the right energy. You gave me that excitement, you know, to get up, get dressed and get on Zoom. I mean, that leads into what you're really most passionate about. You know, the thing that really drives you. Is it, you know, like you were saying, bringing in that excitement into getting people excited about their own products and services, and, you know,
teaching people how to bring in their own money. I consider
good one.
I've been in jobs that I haven't liked. I've worked for the government, and while, you know, it's all fun and exciting at the very beginning, you know, it's tedious. It's the same thing over and over. I've been in sales where you're selling the same thing over and over and you kind of get bored. And, you know, but being in charge of your own money in your own time, I know now at 44, just about 40, 45. And so
you're so old, not.
I know, right? On Monday, so 2 days' time.
Happy birthday.
So even Simon says to me, in the last year and a half, I have not gone back to any full-time jobs. Like I'll go in and out to test out some sales stuff. But then sometimes I have to go in, like I handpick the jobs on purpose. Like the last one was a call center, because I wanted to see how does that work with people answer phones, right? So I'll still pick particular sales jobs. But the last one I went into was, I finished up a year and a half ago. And I've pretty much made the decision that I'm unemployable now. I don't like fitting into someone else's time frame. And even like someone says, you know, if you could just go back into a full-time job for a while, if you just do this. No. And then the boys say, Dad would like it if you could. I've gone, here's the thing. at 45 and all that I have learned, right, I feel that I've earned the right to run my own time.
Yep, 100%.
The problem I have with other people's jobs is they expect you to work on their time.
Yep.
Not on your own time. And you can get it done better and easier if you can just run your own time. But I also believe that by the time you reach a particular age, particularly if you've got a family, that it is unfair to have to ask permission of a stranger that doesn't live in your house if it's okay if you have the day off because your child is sick. Is it okay if I come in late today because they're starting school at a brand new school and I want to see them, or there's a school assembly on? You feel like you're doing the wrong thing because you have to ask permission. Can I do this? Like as if you can't make decisions for yourself, but it's only because you're running off someone else's time. And to top it off is most people by this age, they're still prepared to, oh, I'm happy not to get paid. I just don't want to be there because I want to do this other thing. And yet you still have to explain yourself to someone who doesn't sit inside your life. And so I feel that, so I want to teach everyone that there are ways for you to make, in whether it be just a side gig, just bring in a couple of extra dollars if that's all that you're after. The onflow of this, Sal, the really cool onflow of all of this is, see, what I do in the house and when I talk about it all the time, and I'm excited, and even though everyone in the house is like, oh, do we have to hear it again? Yes, you do. And you can pretend to be excited. We'll talk about something else. Like by teaching them how to just listen to everyone else in the house, it teaches everybody else actually the basic skills on how they can bring in their own money, doing a job that they like.
Yeah.
So later, they won't be subject to, well, this was all that's available to me.
Yeah.
You can literally just make stuff up and sell it, like based off whatever skill you've got. I know my Jack, he's 11 years old. He wanted to play basketball, couldn't do it with COVID, but he did get into a class of basketball skills, right? A skills program, 1 hour once a week for 7 weeks, right? Costs $100. Okay, cool. I'm sitting there, I can't help myself, right? Because there's the woman who's teaching it. She's played basketball her whole entire life.
Yeah.
Been to basketball training her whole entire life. She has coached basketball, like the Little Leagues and everything, so taught them the training. She's been a referee. She knows everything about basketball based off this one skill, knowing the inside outs of basketball. She teaches kids how to dribble a ball and change hands, how to catch a ball and throw it. She's a little bit into shooting, but they don't do it too much. So basically dribbling a ball around a witch's hat. 1 hour once a week for 7 weeks. She has over 25 kids in the class. When we worked it out, I said to Jack, I said, let's work out the maths on this. She charges $100, all this. She earns $300 an hour based off one skill.
Yeah.
The hardest part of her job was just getting known for teaching the basketball class. Once she got known for that, first 25 come in, they come back again next time. Other kid, they tell their friends, they come in for classes. Once you get known for that thing, you can earn an infinite amount of money on one thing.
Yeah.
I bought a piano last year. It cost me $200, right? Pianos are free. Like they cost nothing. It cost $300 to get it delivered because you guys have to move them. They're not easy to move, right?
Yeah.
These guys that deliver my piano, $300 a pop. They do 10 pianos a day.
Yeah. 5
days a week. $15,000, 2 guys.
Yeah.
All they have is one trolley that's about this wide with wheels, rubber wheels that are about this big, right? Yeah. They park halfway down my driveway because it's a rubbish driveway, like it's really steep and just curvy, right? They park halfway down the delivery van. They pull it out. They push it up the first section. They push it across the grass and around a trampoline, up some stairs, and then up a thing. 30 minutes, it's done. And if anyone else is in the house and it's stairs and they need help, they'll just go, yeah, could you just come out of the office and just help me out? They get it. They don't apologize. They don't discount. They don't do anything. They go, great, that was $300. Thanks so much. They move on. All because they learned how to move a piano. That's it. And the guy who learned how to do it played the piano. So he understood about moving a piano. They don't tune it, mind you. Pay another $200 to someone else to tune it. Someone who knows pianos and can hear something, he charges $200 a piano. Comes out for what? 1 hour, 2 hours, $200? Yeah. He can do whatever he likes. Of course, turns out one skill, infinite amount of money. You just enjoy that one skill that you're doing. That's it. You don't have to learn anything else. And so the short version, that was a long story, but the short version is teach the adults, because in the end, the kids are going to see it, and it's really about the kids learning that they can grow up selling whatever they like. If I can teach all the parents whatever money you want, whenever you want, in your own time, the kids will learn. Sure, I'm going to school, I'm learning all this stuff, but ultimately what you learn at school now, the best things is talking to other people, being quiet when you're told to, talking when you need to, debating when you need to, not debating when you shouldn't be. But ultimately, it's the people skills of getting along with others. And then you can sell anything. Get known by more people at school. You can sell to everybody outside of school. Start with a database, you know.
I know. And it's like you said, you're just getting known for that one thing that you do.
One thing.
And that's one of the biggest takeaways out of the thing, because in this multitasking, multi-purpose world that we're living in at the moment, we've got lots of solutions for people's problems, but just be known for the one thing, keeping it simple, stupid, the old KISS principle. It's fantastic. Well, Misty, we've had a fantastic time. That's the way. And it's, you know, I just love talking to you, because you got so many stories and lots of everything, but it's bringing it down just to the basic stuff, keeping it really simple, you know, zipping the mouth and being silent, being confident. It's all about your behavior, right? And, you know, it's fascinating. I'm loving my classes. I encourage everybody to, you know, join up and in Misty sales classes. There, how much are they again?
$75 for 12 months. Come to as many classes you like. I run 5 live classes a week. You don't need all of them, right? And you just come in and out of whatever class fits in with your time frame, wherever you are in the world. I fit in with everyone all over the world. And you grab some tips and you get out. You know, you do it in 1 hour. You get in, you get out, you move on, right?
It's fantastic. Yeah, you meet wonderful people. Do you want to just show us your book again? Overcoming
Obscurity. That's my book. Overcoming Obscurity. So I have I don't have a website. I have a Facebook page. I'm wearing a crown, right? So I'm wearing a crown. I've got a Facebook page. But I do have a Google business page. So if you Google Misty Henkel sales trainer, and for those not in the Canberra region, try Canberra, but Google actually knows who I am based off, you know, podcasts and interviews and things like that. And I've been doing this for so long. Google just knows who I am. I have a website, and yet Google considers me to put me everywhere. They were starting to make a knowledge panel. So then I had one of the guys, Paul Vallick, he's a social media coach, right into Google business pages. So he helped me make my Google business page. And off that, there's a website. So when you click on, there's a website that shows off that. So it's amazing, you know, what you can do. So yeah, easy to find as Misty Henkel sales trainer. Google me, and then all things show up. Otherwise, go to Facebook. You can find me through Facebook. I'm, like I said, wearing a crown. And
well, I'll put the links in underneath this as well. But
friend me. If you friend me, here's a tip. Here's a sales tip. If you friend someone, jump into Messenger and go, I've just sent you a friend request because I saw you on Sally's Magic Mike Moments. Oh, neat. You know, like there's a reason to, you know, give someone a reason, because, you know, you end up becoming friends with people. Yeah, I know how you found me. And then you write to them and go, how did you find me? I don't know. So, you know, tell me why.
Oh, I just love and adore you, as you know. So thank you so much for coming on today and being our guest and talking about all things sales, because I've learned so much. And as you said, you're working with mainly solopreneurs and network marketers, and it's just simple tips that can really help your business improve and grow. Plus, you know, meet a community of like-minded people who are really supportive, and it's getting to know, like, and trust people through this constant community stuff and referrals. So if people have products and services not specifically for you, but people know people, right? So it's just word of mouth. Word of mouth is so powerful, right?
You know, and it all happens. I don't teach referrals. That is not my thing. I teach you, you're in charge of your own referrals. If you don't know how to bring in the sales, then you can't teach someone to do it for you. But what's really interesting in the sales class, particularly in the last year that I've watched, is so many referrals getting passed. The practice of them being able to say, this is what I do, this is what I do, this. I sell this, it costs this, I sell this, it costs this. Them practicing, let's say you, Sally, you say, okay, so I sell a journal, it costs $24.95. We run this one class, right? That's where somebody has to go, piss off. No, you don't sell it for $24.95. And then Sally has to say, yeah, I do. And then be silent, right? She's not allowed to explain herself. She just has to go, yeah. No, it's not that price. Yeah, it is. And then be silent, right? It's just off that hearing everybody do that. Yeah. And they, oh, well, if it's $24.95, great. I'm going to tell someone else then.
Yeah. It's and I've sold heaps because of that, right? It's amazing.
It's if you practice this and you go $24.95 and someone says, piss off, I wouldn't spend that on a journal. It's the explanation from the salesman as to why it's $24.95. The sale walks anyway. Whereas if you go, oh, maybe it's not for you, or that's the price. Yeah. That's the price becomes the answer. That's just the price. And then if you're silent, they'll have to work out, how did it become that? Would I spend that? Actually, what's in that? Do I like the person? Would I give them my cash? Yeah. Actually, you know what? Really like Sal. You know what? It'd be worth it. Because clearly, Sally's not going to be selling something that's not going to help me anyway. So I'm just going to buy the journal. By the way, Sally's journal comes from Etsy. You should do that, or just Google Sally. Find me on Facebook, and then I'll tell you Sally's number. I've got a personal number, and then I'll tell you how to get a journal from her.
Well, on that note, Misty, you've got to say thank you so much for being a guest and for all your words of wisdom, because there's lots and lots and lots of them there. And I look forward to, learning more and more over the next year in our new sales training classes. And I encourage everybody to sign up and reach out to Misty, because she's a top chick.
Thanks.
So happy birthday for Monday, and you enjoy that getting older and older. But I tell you what, once you hit your 50s, it's even better, because you let stuff go, right? You don't worry. It's so refreshing. It's so awesome.
Don't worry about anything anymore.
There we go. All right, Misty. Well, thank you again. And we look forward to joining everyone, and leave some comments and likes and all that sort of stuff. But seeing you with our next guest next time on Magic Mike Moments. So see you later.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Sal. See ya.